War in Europe, 1941. January. Throughout 1941, there were heavy bombing raids causing widespread destruction on London, Liverpool, Portsmouth, Plymouth, Hull, Birmingham, Glasgow, Coventry, Belfast and Nottingham. Operation Compass continues in North Africa. Australian troops capture Bardia. They are 70 miles away from Tobruk. 45,000 Italian prisoners are taken. 13th Corps, British 7th Armoured Division and the Australian 6th and Indian 4th Infantry Divisions surround Tobruk. At a meeting between Molotov, the Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the German ambassador to the Soviet Union, the Russians are surprised that their offer to join Axis has not yet been accepted. British and Australian troops captured Tobruk from the Italians. After every country in Europe that declared their neutrality had been attacked by Hitler, Charles Lindbergh recommends that the United States negotiate a neutrality pact with Germany. February. General Rommel and the African Corps arrives in Tripoli. The British chased the Italians all the way back to El Agheila, where they would fight Rommel and his African Corps for the first time. The battle is indecisive. With the swift British victory in North Africa possible, Field Marshal Wavell was ordered to send all available forces to Greece, stripping North Africa of his best men and equipment. March. The first British troops land in Greece. President Roosevelt signs the Lend-Lease Act, throwing Britain a lifeline. Rommel attacks El Agheila, driving the British back. April. Rommel takes Benghazi, but Tobruk will remain a threat to him for the next 7 months. Shipping losses in the Atlantic to U-boats is very high. Convoy SC-26 from Halifax has 10 of its 23 ships sunk by a wolf pack of 9 U-boats. Germany invades Greece and Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia is divided up between Germany and Italy. Rommel encircles Tobruk and the siege of Tobruk begins. Rommel attacks Tobruk but is routed by the defenders. Follow-up attacks also fail. British destroyers intercept an African Corps convoy off Tunisia. All 5 transports and 3 escorting Italian destroyers are sunk for the loss of HMS Mohawk. After resisting for 11 days, Yugoslavia surrenders. 300,000 Yugoslav soldiers are taken prisoner. Greece surrenders. As German troops storm Athens, the radio plays the Hellenic national anthem for the last time. The British continue to have heavy shipping losses. During 1941, 1,419 vessels, British and Allied merchant ships were lost. May. U-boat 110 is badly damaged and forced to surface by HMS Bulldog. Its Enigma machine and code books are captured undamaged. Deputy Führer Rudolf Hess parachutes into Scotland on a mission to make peace with Britain. Operation Brevity. British and German forces alternately take control of Hafia Pass and Fort Capuzzo. British reinforcements with 238 tanks arrive in Alexander. The Bismarck departs Gotenhaven, heading for the North Atlantic. On the first day of the German invasion of Crete, 9,350 German paratroopers land around the British airfield. The British battlecruiser HMS Hood, pride of the Royal Navy, is sunk by the Bismarck. A shell from the Bismarck penetrates the Hood's rear ammunition magazine. Only 3 of her crew survived. Aircraft from the carrier HMS Ark Royal attack the Bismarck with torpedoes. The Bismarck is damaged and can only steer in circles. The Bismarck takes terrible punishment, with 3,000 shells being fired at her, many scoring hits. She was finished off with torpedoes. June. British forces evacuate Crete. Rationing of clothes begins in the United Kingdom. It would continue until 1949, 4 years after the war ended. Malta convoys continue to be attacked. Ships are sunk by bombs and mines. British aircraft carrier HMS Furious and Ark Royal, when in range of Malta, fly off Hurricanes and Spitfires. All German and Italian assets in the United States are frozen. Operation Battle Axe fails to relieve Tobruk. The British lose half their tanks on the first day. Hafia Pass is now called Hellfire Pass. Operation Barbarossa. Germany attacks Russia. Romania also invades Russia on the German side. Hungary and Slovakia declare war on Russia. German forces surround 300,000 Red Army troops and capture Minsk. July. Stalin announces a scorched earth policy, destroying every crop, building or town as the Red Army retreats, depriving the enemy of its use. The Red Army counterattacks near Leningrad. Although the US are not yet in the war, American troops arrive in Iceland, releasing British and Canadian troops to fight elsewhere. Belarus, considered by the Germans to be the gateway to Moscow, is captured. In response to Japan invading Indochina, President Roosevelt suspends relations with Japan and freezes their assets. Hitler orders plans for the final solution of the Jewish question. August. Germany defeats the Red Army at Smolensk. Russia suffers severe losses, but the German lines are overstretched. The German siege of Leningrad begins. It would last for 872 days. September. German armies surround Kiev and 9 days later capture it. The first of 2,710 Liberty ships, built to replace shipping losses, is launched. October. Operation Typhoon begins. The German advance on Moscow quickly bogs down in the rain and mud. When the mud hardens, the Germans attempt another drive towards Moscow. The temperature drops and heavy snow stops the German tanks. Odessa, under siege for 73 days, is captured by Romanian and German forces. 11 US sailors die, the first American casualties in World War II, when USS Kearney is hit by a torpedo from German U-boat U-568. After assurances that Japan would not attack Russia, reinforcements arrive in Moscow from Siberia. Lieutenant Colonel Karl Holtz is killed by the French resistance in Nantes. Hitler ordered that 50 hostages be executed immediately and 50 more executed if the killers were not caught in 2 days. New Zealand troops land in Egypt and take over Fort Capuzzo. November. With temperatures at minus 12 degrees, Russian ski troops attack the German troops keeping Moscow under siege. After successfully delivering a squadron of Hurricane fighter planes to Malta, the carrier HMS Ark Royal is torpedoed and sinks. All her crew, except one man killed in the explosion, are saved. Operation Crusader. New Zealanders fight their way through to Tobruk, lifting the siege. December. Malta is bombed for the 1,000th time. Conscription in the United Kingdom is raised to include men up to 50 years of age. Hitler abandons the German attack on Moscow. Soviet army launches a major counter-offensive around Moscow. In an attempt to eliminate the US Pacific Fleet, the Japanese launch a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. A few hours later, Japan attacks the British territories of Hong Kong and Malaya. The United States and Britain declare war on Japan. Hitler declares war on the United States. Italian frogmen on 3 human torpedoes enter Alexandria Harbour and attach limpet mines to the battleships HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Valiant and a tanker. They sink in shallow water and are later refloated. 6 Italian frogmen are captured. Rommel, with Commonwealth forces hot on his heels, retreats to El Aguila, where he had started his attack in March. He awaits reinforcements and tanks. At the beginning of the year, Stalin was set to join Hitler and the Axis. At the end of the year, the German army were at the gates of Moscow. Now, America was in the war. Her industrial might would be fully behind the Allies, and millions more men were available to fight the tyranny of Nazi Germany and Japan.